the other one up, but this a lot of people seen my super sulfurs before. This is a super sulfur. I will say that this particular clutch also had the possibility of having blade and also had the possibility of being clown. I have tried to put it under black light, haven't been able to see any clown pattern on it, but I did keep a pair of these guys. That's a very reduced amount of orange splotching as compared to what's normally on super sulfurs. So I don't know if that's the blade that's impacting the amount of that orange splotching and coloration, or if that actually may be the clown doing that. But I was a little bummed with this project too, because I was hoping I'd be able to get some of that clown pattern into the yellow splotching that you see on the super sulfurs, but I just wasn't able to cram it in there. So still be fun to breed these guys out and find out what they are, and either way it's still going to be a really valuable breeder, being that everything it'll produce, if it's what I think it is, you know, everything will come out being a sulfur and het clown, but we'll probably be breeding it to clowns off the get-go, so everything will be sulfur clowns coming out, so that'll be fun. All right, I'm gonna have to go run here real quick into the other room, because I do want to put a comparison down so you can see the difference here. But this is an inchy. I call them ghost. I hate calling them true ghost. I don't call hypos ghost. I call hypos hypos. But this is a hypo VPI axanthic inchy. There is possibility that there's typhoon in here. I did make a typhoon ghost male that I'm using now to produce all of this stuff with. So let me go run real quick and grab a ghost and show you the comparison. So I do get a lot of compliments on ghosts, and a lot of people really do love the ghost. And the ghost is awesome, there's no doubt about it. But really, when you compare that inchy ghost to that regular ghost, the inchy really fades it out and makes it even more ghostly. So I'm super excited about that. I actually have my typhoon ghost is locked up with a pastel double het right now, so I may make some pastels here shortly, and definitely see if we can't get the pastel tied in with the inchy. I made 2 inchy ghosts last year. They're both girls, so it's going to take a little while before I get them up to size. But you know, working on getting those girls up, and hopefully we'll do some more stuff with those in the future. There is definitely plans to put the ghost into clown and also into pied, so might do it with this inchy one and try to make inchy ghost pieds and inchy ghost clowns. That'll be some fun for the future. This girl I was debating on selling, and then just realized that I don't really have an inchy pied, so why not keep it? But that's actually an inchy pinstripe pied, and she's 50% possible het for VPI axanthic. So who knows what we'll do with that in the future. But hopefully, if we can do everything just right, we'll end up the first breeding attempt potentially producing super inchy axanthic pied pinstripe, if she proves out to be het for axanthic, and hopefully so. But if not, I'll still take the inchy pin pied. She's gorgeous. I got some other really fun pied stuff we can plug into that. Actually made some leopard scaleless head stuff a couple years ago, and ended up selling all of it. So finally this year produced some more leopard scaleless heads. I kept this leopard scaleless head male, and we'll just do a whole bunch of stuff with him. Hopefully make some leopard scaleless and leopard scaleless crosses in the future. But he's growing well, and really cool animal. I'm super excited to produce some more leopard scaleless head stuff. For about 2 or 3 years I tried to make these, and I just kept missing, so I finally produced a VPI axanthic leopard. He's growing well. I thought he actually had potential to have pastel in him. I thought for a little while maybe he did. I'm thinking now he probably doesn't, but either way, I got plenty of stuff that we can get pastel plugged into there if we want to, but I was just excited to get an Axanthic leopard, have the visual, and be able to produce some more of that stuff in the future. So hopefully Axanthic leopard stuff, more of it coming in the future. Along those lines, this is another one that produced in all of my trials that year. That's an Enchi leopard het Axanthic. That is a girl, so it'll take her a little while to get up to size, but we'll see what we can do with her. But that head stamp is just really cool on that Enchi leopard. I really love it, and her colors are really cool. Here's another one of my nemesis that took me forever to make. I made double het Axanthic pies in 2009, and finally for the first time this year made Axanthic pies. This is the girl, and this is the boy that I made this year. I actually, when he first hatched, thought he may have had Enchi in him. I still think it's possible. They both had potential to have Enchi. Both of these were the male that I used this year to make all my Axanthic pied stuff was an Enchi pinstripe double het. So obviously they're not pinstripe, but either one of them had some potential to have Enchi. And I just thought one of them may have some Enchi in it since their patterns are so completely different from one another. But we'll just have to do some future trials to find out what we got and if there's Enchi in either one of those guys. But I'm just excited after 9 years of thinking about that project to finally have a pair of them sitting in the rack. So should make them a little bit easier to produce here in the coming years. I actually did have this girl up for sale for a while. She's changed a good bit now. She actually had a lot more white on her when she was a little bit younger, but it is a female. Who can't have enough female coral glows. I like them. So that is a super pastel pinstripe mystic, my apologies, banana. That actually came, she was a sibling to the GHI banana that I pulled out earlier. And like I said, I had her in their sale rack there for a little while and just kept eyeballing her while I was getting her up to size to put her up for available, and just decided I couldn't part with her and put her in my rack, and so now she's living here. I've always loved these animals, so I was super excited this year to make a pinstripe clown. There was blade in this breeding, but I'm pretty sure that this guy doesn't actually have any blade in him. He's pretty busy pattern, but I am super stoked to have a pinstripe clown now. Alongside, in the same clutch, I did produce a Lemon Blast clown female as well. Here she is. That's his sister. And of course, clown females, I don't think you can ever have enough of those either, so I decided to keep her because she's a female. But in actuality, when I produced it and looking at the two side by side, I'm actually, again, I like the pinstripe clown better than I do when you add the pastel to it. I think the pastel just detracts away from a little bit of the contrast, you know, that you get from like these little black rings and the black lines, and you lose some of that intricate pattern when you put the pastel in there. So still, she's a great animal. She'll make a good breeder in the future, but I think I really like the pinstripe without the pastel in it, and we'll probably try to go the route of putting the pinstripe into some other clown stuff, but maybe not with pastel in it. So anyway, excited to get these two guys going, and hopefully get this pin clown male breeding here for too long. So this was a great Axanthic year for me. Finally got my Axanthic sugar, finally got my Axanthic leopard, and also finally got my Axanthic GHI. So I did actually produce a female. Probably should have kept her, but she did go to a great home. So we'll have to try again later. But I do have a GHI het girl growing up. That probably be the size a little bit after he's ready. So hopefully some Axanthic Super GHIs in the future. But in the meantime, got plenty of Axanthic stuff to plug him into, and make some Axanthic GHI stuff with him. Possibly Axanthic GHI Mojave pastels as soon as he gets up to size. I got a Pastavi Axanthic that is waiting for him, so that'll be fun, I think. So here's one right here I'm super excited about. He was a little runty, didn't want to eat really good, but that is a sulfur red stripe, and he happens to be het clown. So I think the red stripe clown stuff's going to be a whole lot of fun. Super excited to get going down that path. I did sell all of the other siblings for this clutch. Probably should have held on to one of them, but at least I have this male, so we can do some work with him. And I'm really excited about red stripe clown stuff. So this guy's gonna get he's gonna get a lot of ladies as soon as he gets some size on him. He's finally eating well, so starting to pack on size, and we'll start feeding him a little bit more frequently. Try to get him up to size to be breeding by the end of the year. Alright, this little girl just hatched. She just took her first meal, and this is a male that I kept with her as well, somewhere. So this is the male that I decided to keep. So this came out of me wanting to amp up. I've got a 1.3 group of double het hypo clowns. And so I just decided I need to get some other genes in the hypo clown stuff. So I bred my sulfur blade clown to a typhoon hypo pewter. So what I've got is a sulfur typhoon pewter double het hypo clown girl, and a sulfur cinnamon double het hypo clown male. He may be typhoon, but I don't think he is. I think the sulfur and cinnamon, I've actually never made sulfur cinnamons before, so I'm not sure exactly what that color is supposed to look like to be able to tell if the typhoon influenced his color or not. But I do have 3 other siblings to these that will be up for sale here for too long. They got to get a couple more meals in them, and so if you're looking for some really fun hypo clown project stuff, we'll have some of those available soon too. But for now, I'm super excited about this. Don't know that I'll ever breed these two together. They both have sulfur in them. Don't want to make super sulfurs of that stuff. And they both have cinnamon. Don't really want to make super cinnamons of any of that stuff. But I just, out of the other stuff that was available, I couldn't part with these 2 animals. I definitely like this guy, and I wanted to hold a girl. The only other girl was a pastel blade double het, and I really wanted a little bit more in there than that. So these are the 2 that I kept, and like I said, due to them both having sulfur and cinnamon on both sides, I probably won't breed these 2 together. But hopefully we'll have you know, something really cool to breed to this girl by the time she's ready. And this guy, he can definitely see all of the double het girls that I have, so it'll be fun. And the last thing that I really got in my rack, I do have her for sale, but she is in my rack because she probably won't sell. But that's my scaleless head, or excuse me, my scaleless posset pied girl. And this is the male that we kept. He's in shed, but that is a scaleless head pied male. So hopefully this next go around we'll actually hit the scaleless pieds. That's what I was hoping to hit in this clutch, and we missed on it, but it's okay that I missed because still got a scaleless, and it's been really fun watching this little girl grow and eat, and she's doing great, and I can't wait until scalelesses get out there in more collections, because I know there's a lot of controversy on them, but I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy them once we start getting them to the point where they're selling to more people. But it's definitely a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll produce some more of them this year. So I think that's really about it. I'll go ahead and say thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, post in the comments. We'll get this thing up on Facebook here shortly, and hopefully get the next video coming before too long. We'll talk about one of the genes that I'm producing. If anyone has a specific request for what gene they'd like to see first, let me know, and I'll try to get to that gene first if I get any requests. So thanks everybody.